My name is Miguel Guajardo. I'm from the class of 1982.
My name is Francisco Guajardo. I'm from the class of 1983.
I'm Delia Perez, Ed Cachalsa class of 93.
I'm Juan Osuna, Ed Cachalsa High School, class of 1996.
I'm Steven Osuna, I'm 20 years old, from the class of 2007.
And we're very deliberate at the beginning of the year about spending a very sufficient amount of time just getting to know each other. And we spend about 6 weeks telling stories and sitting in a circle like this. You know, what our fears are, what our dreams are, what are the things we'd like to see in our community, and how we can work together to make those things happen. Even though it's a small community, oftentimes a lot of these students don't really know each other. And so they have a chance to really build strong bonds with one another and with our staff.
One of the things in the beginning of the school year that we do is self-evaluation, and we do that by telling a story of yourself that tells you of who you are, where your family is from. And one story that I did was a tattoo that my mother gave my father when he was a child, and that he had passed on to his kids. Me and my brother have the same one. It's located right here on the top of our hand. And the whole process of the story was challenging for me because I never actually sat down with my grandma and had like a conversation with her.
You know, and so then that begins to sort of expand as we co-create a story with each other. But there's all these threads that are beginning to sort of come out as our students share stories with each other. One of the really neat things that came out of this happened last year, actually. We had just done an oral history with a gentleman from our community. We were learning about place, and he was telling us about what Ed Cachalsa used to be like, you know, when he was a kid. And so, you know, again, these threads began to emerge. You know, I know about this place, and, you know, my cousin is sick, and I don't know why. You know, and so these kids then began to sort of go through this evaluation process of, you know, what's happening here? What's going on in our community? Why is this happening? You know, and so it was a very powerful sort of experience that happened just by our kids sharing stories with each other.
I'm a university professor now who teaches in a principal preparation program. So anybody who's going to become a principal in the region has to produce an autoethnography, which oftentimes becomes the most challenging academic and personal work that students have done, because they just haven't had the chance, for whatever reason, to really think deeply about their own story. And so what we did was develop autoethnographies as part of building their own story so that they could then share their stories in front of a legislative body. So that part of what we have begun to elaborate is not just a construction of stories, but also the construction of story for the purpose of creating some sort of social impact, political impact, policy impact, and advocacy.
Part of the story is not just how a number of us have come together and have been called to be public people and share and deal with our own private stories. But all of this is only as important as, do we understand how to disrupt the prevailing narrative, which is, I am a leader, I have the answers and you need to follow me. So within that spirit, we do not close this web, but we leave it on the side for the next person that comes into our lives and into our families and into our communities to take it and engage in the process.
Ikapan